Hey everybody, I am the Old Humble Guy, and we have yet another fun whiskey topic to talk about. Today, today I guess we're going to be talking about dirt, soil, and the land, specifically terroir, and terroir, how it relates to whiskey. So terroir is a French word which literally means land. It literally means land, and it's in the context of whiskey and wine specifically, it talks about the chemistry and the soil that goes into making the grapes the unique things that they are. And it's very important when it comes to wine, that chemistry in the soil that goes into making the grape, because grape juice and water is about 80%, 80 to 90% of what goes into a bottle of wine. When it comes to whiskey, though, it's a little bit different. And we'll get to that in just a second. But also, they talk about terroir, they generally are talking about they're specifically talking about the land and the chemistry in the land, but generally the climate around that growing region. And the growing region is important because that's where they're going to grow the grapes, that's where they're going to ferment the grapes, that's where they're going to age the wine, that's where they're going to make the wine in general, bottle it and everything, and all kind of in that same region. It doesn't work the same way when it comes to whiskey. Corn can be grown in Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, anywhere across the Great Plains where they grow corn. That corn can then be shipped to the distillery, which can be, in our case, in Texas, Colorado, Kentucky, New York, anywhere where they're making the whiskey. And then the whiskey can be made, put into giant vats, shipped to another place, put into barrels. In some cases, those barrels go on a boat and they go around the world. In other places, in other situations, the barrels just go into wherever the distillery is or the bottler is to finish that whiskey. And the distillery can be thousands of miles away from where the barrels are aged. The barrels can be aged thousands of miles away from where the corn is grown. And when it finally comes down to the final chemistry, the actual chemistry of the soil that goes into making the corn can be a very, very, very small percentage of what ultimately goes into your bottle. It can be as little as 2%, sometimes only 5% of what actually goes into the bottle. The largest influencer of the flavor of the whiskey is going to be the barrel itself, the alcohol that goes into the barrel, but the barrel itself and the climate where that barrel is aged. So when we talk about terroir in the whiskey world, we're not so much talking about the soil as we're talking about the air and the climate and the humidity and the temperature and the different temperature fluctuations. In the case of Scotland, you've got 5 or 6 different, or 4 or 5 different aging regions in Scotland. In the state of Texas, you have at least 4 different aging regions. And Texas is going to be different from Colorado, is going to be different from Kentucky, California, all the different places. And at least one maker puts them on ships and sends them around the world, which is an entirely different aging zone and aging region. So when we talk about terroir in general, we're not so much talking about the land as we are talking about the air and the temperature and the climate and all that other stuff. So if you do end up going to a whiskey tasting and you have one of the experts who takes their nose and shoves it in the glass and sniffs it all out and says, "Oh, you can really taste the terroir of the grains," just smile and nod and enjoy your whiskey, because that's what it's all really about, is enjoying the whiskey. The technical stuff, we'll worry about the technical stuff all day long. We'll do the hard work so you can do the easy part, which is just lifting your glass, raising a toast, and having a sip. Because ultimately, that's what it's all about. So cheers to all y'all. Thank you so much for getting it this far into the video. Don't forget, subscribe, like, do all the stuff that YouTubers are supposed to ask you to do. I'll make more whiskey. I'll make more videos. You like more videos, we'll make more videos. Thank you so much for coming along. And we'll see you next time with another whiskey talk. Cheers.